What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the 1 month review of the Hypervenom Phantom 3 GX made in Montebelluna, not to be confused with the Phantom GX, which is a different football boot altogether. These are based on my favorite football boot of all time, the Hypervenom Phantom 3, which I have way too many pairs of right now. Actually, that's not true. You can never have enough pairs. But these are sensational, and in my opinion, these might be the best football boot ever made, and I'm gonna tell you why. We are gonna start today with the sole plate of this football boot. A lot of these ratings, because it's a subjective video, it's my opinion, and Hypervenom 3 is the best football boot that I fit in my opinion, other than GX and Phantom Ultra. This is gonna get a lot of top ratings for me. Sole plate is a 9 out of 10. This is the hyper-reactive sole plate from Hypervenom Phantom 3, including chevron studs, hexagonal studs, which basically act like conical studs, and then you've got a few little bladed studs here. Lateral side is all chevron, medial side is all hexagonal or circular, basically, conical. Tons of pivot power, really good responsiveness with being a little bit flexible to allow you to feel the ground, get a good sense of what your traction's like, and in my opinion, this is one of the best sole plates on the market, or at least was when these football boots launched and when they came out. So for me, this is a 9 out of 10 sole plate. Okay, so the heel area. So the heel area is a very, very straightforward internal heel counter that's basically a cup shape that goes inside of this material here. In this particular model, you've got a leather or faux leather interior, and so there's a little bit of, it's definitely a, you will love this heel area if you fit in this heel area. I know for some people this heel area was way too stiff, it didn't fit them correctly, so I guess for that reason this might not get the top marks. And for me, I tend to prefer maybe a little bit of suede in the heel liner, a little bit of something that gives this heel area a little bit more lockdown. For my heel, this fits perfect, but I am gonna knock it down because I do think it doesn't quite fit most foot types. It doesn't have the adjustability of something like a GX that's actually softer and is gonna kind of mold around most foot types. So for me, this heel area is an 8 out of 10. Next, let's talk about the upper, and this is where this football boot is special because this is the Flyknit, complete Flyknit upper from the Hypervenom Phantom 3, and instead of the coating, they've put an entire layer of Montebelluna leather on this. It's not called Montebelluna leather, bear with me please. It is Alegria leather. So made of Montebelluna from the Montebelluna factory, Alegria leather on the top of this. It is absolutely sensational. It is so soft, so pliable, so plush. It will fit around basically most foot types. It doesn't add any extra break-in time, I would say. We'll talk about that in a minute, but this upper is unbelievable. I mean, that is insane for a knit and leather football boot. They've basically combined two of the best football boot technologies, knit and leather, and put the highest quality of both of those things in one football boot. And for me, these are insane. This upper is so soft, it gives you a little bit more plush sensation than the regular Hypervenom Phantom 3s because of that leather, because of the texture of the leather. There's not as much grip as there is on the regular Hypervenom Phantom 3, and that's to be expected because it is just a plain leather. They haven't added any extra coatings or any treatment or anything on the upper itself. So absolutely sensational, and I mean that very, very explicitly. This is a sensational feeling upper, and I absolutely love this football boot and love this upper. So this is a 9 out of 10 for me on the upper. All right, so the lockdown of this football boot, the best thing they could have done is keep the flywire cables that run along the lateral and the medial sides of the midfoot. You can kind of see the striations, hopefully, in that upper, that they've kept those. And the reason that's so important is because it really does a fantastic job of locking. Once you tie the laces tight, it locks that midfoot in place. So whether you have a wide midfoot or a skinnier midfoot, it'll be accommodating, so which is fantastic. But these flywire cables will do a fantastic job of making sure that your foot stays in place. And for me, this is probably one of the best boots for my foot as far as lockdown goes. So for me, this is a 9 out of 10 for lockdown. Break-in time on this Hypervenom Phantom 3 GX is a little bit less than the regular Hypervenom. So for me, this actually doesn't fall in the top 3 of boots that I can just wear straight away and not have any issues with. The reason being is because I think the leather is just it's not stiff, but it does add an extra layer of material that my foot has to break in. And so for me, because my foot isn't directly connected to the leather, there's the knit material underneath it, it does take, I would say 20 to 30 minutes. I know that sounds ridiculous, like 20 to 30 minutes. Say an hour for most people. For most foot types, 1 hour, these should be perfectly buttery soft. And for me now, I can slip in these anytime, and they are one of the best boots I've ever tried on my feet as far as comfort goes, because you get that extra plushness with the leather. Break-in time for me, 8.5 out of 10. Durability and build quality of this football boot is getting top marks because made in Montebelluna, number one. Number two, this has aspects of knit material, which tends to be very durable. This Allegria leather, which is absolutely fantastic, very durable, really nice. There are some scuff marks in and around the sole plate and around the upper, a little bit here on the toe area, but again, it's just scuff marks. It's not actually creasing, cracking. The leather hasn't gotten dry or anything. I didn't treat this boot at all. I haven't put any leather cream or leather food on it, and it has performed absolutely spectacular. No cracks in the sole plate. Sole plate still performs really well. So for me, this is a 9 out of 10 on build quality. Top marks from the Nike brand in Montebelluna. Shape and fit of this football boot is absolutely sensational for my foot type. As you guys know, Hypervenom Phantom 3 is my favorite boot of all time for nostalgic reasons, but also because it's one of the very few football boots that I can jump into straight away, fit right away, no break-in time whatsoever. Once these are broken in, as I spoke about, just a half a point down from the regular Hypervenom Phantom 3 as far as break-in time, these fit spectacularly. They've got a really nice, they fit my heel really well, and then as you can see, my foot's broken it in here in that midfoot area where my foot is really wide, and they've got a nice wide toe box that is gonna accommodate most people. I actually think even thinner foot types will fit in this boot. It might be a little bit more roomy, but as far as I'm concerned, this gets a 9 out of 10 for me as far as fit and sizing. They do fit true to size as well, so keep that in mind. This is a 9 US, and they fit me perfectly just like a regular Hypervenom 3 would. Okay, so the competition for this boot. Now, let's assume that this boot exists now. So Phantom GX, Puma Ultra, or Puma Future Ultimate, I would say. Again, this falls in under the category of kind of control and power shooting, that type of thing. So definitely Phantom GX. I would argue Puma Future Ultimate is in that category. And then what else? Maybe the Predator Accuracy, the new Predator Accuracy. I think Power Boot kind of falls, this kind of falls in that category as well. For me, the GX is a boot that I will pick over this one, this particular model, but the regular Hypervenom Phantom 3 I'd probably pick over GX sometimes. I really like the GX. Puma Future Ultimate is a great football boot. You guys will see the 1 month review on that coming in a couple weeks, I believe. And then I would pick this one over the Puma Future Ultimate for sure. And the Predator Accuracy I only filmed about a week ago, so it's a little too hard to tell, but those are fantastic for wide-footed players like myself. But there's a few things that I don't think are as good on that football boot quite yet. I know that those reviews will probably come out well before this one will, or this one actually will come out before that, so never mind. But point being, the only boot in that list of current ones that I would fit as far as competition goes for this one is Phantom GX that I'd pick over this. The Future Ultimate and the Predator Accuracy, 0.1 pluses, whatever one, I'm gonna pick below this one. So this is second on the list as far as if this was a current generation boot. Okay, overall performance of this boot is spectacular. I think these boots are just amazing. They ping like you wouldn't believe. They're so comfortable out of the box. They're amazing to play with. They respond really well to different foot shapes. They have great lockdown, all that stuff. The only downside for me is I usually tend to prefer that knit feel. So for me, these aren't gonna get top marks because they're not a Hypervenom Phantom 3, which is my favorite boot of all time. I love how thin and beautiful that sensation is with the knit of the upper. These ones with that Allegria leather upper are just slightly below those. So for me, these get an 8.5 out of 10 as far as performance goes. Overall, this football boot is absolutely fantastic. I know they're really rare. They're super expensive when you can find a pair. And I am really lucky to be able to wear and enjoy this pair. This will not be leaving my collection. But if you are interested in football boots of size 9 US or sometimes 8.5, you can check out my website, noahcavanaugh.com/shop, and you can go there and pick out some boots or some merch for yourself. These football boots are fantastic. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10 football boot for me. I really love these football boots. They're gonna get top marks. Again, once it's a 9 out of 10 for an overall rating, I have a micro scale system in that like 9 to 10 range where I'm gonna prefer maybe a GX over these, but I'll prefer a Hypervenom 3 over both of them, or a Phantom Ultra over something else, right? Those tiny, tiny, out of the top like 3 or 5 boots for me right now, these definitely fall probably 3rd or 4th, depending on the day. I love these. I'm going to wear these for as long as I possibly can. I'm gonna enjoy them. For me, these are a 9 out of 10 as far as overall. If you guys enjoyed that 1 month review, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel already. If you guys want more 1 month reviews on rarer and a little more exclusive football boots, let me know down in the comments which ones you wanna see next. And as always, guys, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.